Okay, gang, welcome back. Well, I hope you're having a lot of fun with this, and that this is, helping you understand this from perspective of a trader like Lance, who's willing to go ahead and give something back to our community here. Again, of course, Lance is far from one of the oldest people here. Lance has been here since January of this year, several of you have been here a lot longer. But he's willing to step up, share a little bit about his successes, his growth, his experiences, what's working for him, what he had to consider. Right now you hear him in the background doing the Darth Vader breathing. And so now I'm just waiting for the dog to kick in and we'll be all set. What we have to understand is that these are really invaluable learning experiences that will hopefully accelerate the growth of some of you to see if you're still stuck in some of the ruts that Lance successfully navigated through. Maybe this will be an aha day for you as you go ahead and you've heard me say it, but sometimes, and even Lance did, Lance discounted it as well. He had to go through that process, but you heard the difference for Lance. The difference for Lance was he lost money, he took big stings, and he learned from it and changed his behaviors. See, some people, they go ahead and they don't change their behaviors. They keep doing the same thing that they were doing before and making the same junior trader mistakes. All of you have an incredible learning opportunity to learn from one of the few people, like I said, myself, that can do this publicly live and do it very successfully and give you guys one heck of a learning opportunity. Now you're also having a great other learning opportunity, which is hearing from Lance, who's been going through this journey these last 9 months, making these mistakes, growing from these mistakes, and is now seeing his trading and his account grow as well. Huge learning opportunity, because many of you still need to go ahead and get that aha moment to get yourself out of the ruts. You hear me say things every day, and I get the head to chin, down to chest look from you as you lower your head saying, I know, Rob, I can't believe I did that. Well, eventually, you're going to lose enough money where you're either going to have that aha moment and rise like a phoenix out of the trading ashes, or you're going to be out of this business. And I've met a lot of great people in this business over the many years that I've been doing it, and I've met my fair share of idiots too that, like, realistically, it doesn't really matter what happens to them because they're not very nice people. But the ones that always get me are the nice people that just are struggling to get the aha moments. And that's why Lance is taking his precious time today, and I'm taking this extra time today to put together, this course to go ahead and, hopefully help more people have the aha moments. And Pete, that's very nice, and we are all going ahead and very grateful, glad that we can do this special day together. We will go ahead and we'll take a probably 30-minute or so lunch, maybe within an hour or so. Matul, maybe this is what we'll do. We'll actually shut down the recordings and we'll take a break there because we've got a lot, still lots of material to cover, and we've already been doing this for 2.5 hours approximately. Okay, so I don't want you to wilt away on me. Okay, so we'll figure out a break here probably within the next hour for half an hour or so. All right. Okay. Lots of information to absorb, though. Lots of good stuff. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next learning opportunity here. Lance, let's talk a little bit about the discipline here, since that's kind of what I was preluding into. And as far as an emotional state, you have kind of a routine that helps you out, and let's see what you and the dog think about that.
Sorry about the dog there. I'm trying. She just, it's a little 4-pound Maltese. You know how they think they're size of a Doberman, so they bark at everything.
Oh yes, nope, yep. She's the power charting mascot. Like I said, you'll have
Yeah.
to at lunch. You'll have to send me a picture of her so I can go ahead and show everybody. So no worries at all. Like I said, we appreciate your time today, and I think that if anybody was actually concerned about the little girl in the background, they're not really the kind of people we want as part of our family here. We're a pretty easygoing group, as you of all people know. So
Yeah.
not that way, but we're just going to have a little fun with her. What's her name, by the way?
Paris.
Paris. Ah,
Yeah.
excellent.
Paris.
Okay, well, very good. So you have a routine here that helps you focus a little bit. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, for me, I mean, just as far as my emotional state, I mean, it's this, personally, it's just, working out every day just helps keep my mind straight. I mean, and every day after, trading, I go to the gym for a couple hours, and that's what works best for me, is as far as just kind of releasing my mind and just getting rid of everything in my mind and just kind of starting fresh again.
Now, let me ask you a question. How do you feel then on days after, let's say, 2 or 3 days in a row where you haven't been able to work out? Does it have any sort of negative bearing on your trading? Is it more a stamina thing where you don't feel as energetic and so that doesn't allow you to trade as much? Or is there any impact to your trading if you aren't able to work out for a handful of days?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is. I mean, it's hard for me if I can't get that part of my day done. I mean, once you kind of get in a routine, I guess, and you do that every day. I mean, when you throw it off, it really kind of upsets the whole rhythm of everything.
Okay. And as far as you probably get your cardiovascular in by going ahead and chasing Paris around?
Oh yeah.
That's great. As far as this next one, we actually spoke about this a little bit earlier. Um, and I think that this is so. Let's cover this a little bit more. Again, the best way to beat the beast of bad discipline. Talk about that journey when you were first here. You mentioned it, how you were going nuts, and we kind of alluded to that. We've talked about it up till now, but I just want to have a little focus segment then, since it was a question, and like I said, we did end up answering a little bit earlier. But talk about that journey, about the whole, okay, why isn't he taking trades? Well, I'm just going to go and take these trades anyways. Then you lost money. Then you eventually realized that I actually know what I'm talking about. Of course, having almost 9 months of without a losing trade probably helped that journey a little bit. But what really kind of were some of those aha moments? What were those things that helped you realize that I actually know what I'm talking about, in this process? Because there may be some people here, since we have brand new people in our family, who might be in this spot now that you were in 9 months ago.
Yeah, when I first started your room, I mean, it was, and at that point, really the only trades that you took most of the time were just the conservative retracement trades. I mean, so there was a lot of sitting. I mean, now you're taking more aggressive trades and conservative aggressive trades. So I mean, there's more trading now than there was even back then. So I'd always really, I mean, I'd sit there and say, man, why does he not take more trades? I mean, we just sit here and sit here and sit here. I mean, it's just, and then after you get yourself in a situation where you take wrong trades, you're doing it out of boredom, and after a period of time, you sit there and realize that you really know what you're talking about, and I mean, you just take each of those non-trading times as a great time just to learn from you and about your style, and just be patient with it, and the trades will come, the right ones will come. You just have to really focus on taking those right trades.
Well, you raised a couple of good issues there. Actually, one was about taking more trades now than I was back then, because remember back in you heard me talk about this when you joined. I believe you joined in January. In December of last year, we actually added. And between December and January, we actually added many, many new students. In fact, some of our other famous students here, Nick and Mark, for instance, who are both featured on the front page of my website from the United Kingdom, they went ahead, both started, as I recall, in January as well. And there was many people that started in December and January. And so, of course, I was very concerned about showing the, oh, that's right, as Dwayne and Ed are saying, they did too. They joined in January. And there's probably many people who joined between last December and January. And so I was, of course, whenever I have a whole bunch of new people join, I was, at the time, getting very, oh boy, I better not show any of the aggressive stuff because I know people just want to jump on my trades like monkeys. And so I would wind myself back up into this. I need to just focus on, conservative. And then, of course, finally, around here, we had kind of a, come to Jesus meeting, if you will, where we sat down as a large group, and I said, listen, gang, I love you all terribly, but this is how I make my money, and this is how I want to continue making my money, so that at that point down the road, when I shut down the live trading room and just go back to private life, that I continue to be as sharp, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 months from now, as I am, in the current state. So, basically I finally had the meeting with everybody and said, look, I'm going to take not just the conservative trades, but the conservative aggressive and the very aggressive trades. And I had a stumbling block along that journey because I got a little freaked out back a couple months ago. You remember we had, what was it, like 40 or 60 people, I think it was about 60 people join over the course of 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I believe it was. You remember that back several months ago, and I got kind of freaked out there in the short term because all of a sudden some of those brand new people were like talking about how they just taken my conservative my very aggressive trades, and they're like, oh, Rob, that was awesome, great job. And I'm thinking, you're brand new to my room, and you just took that trade. You don't even understand what you're doing. And so then I got really conservative, if you remember, for like 3 weeks. I like bottled up, and I got really conservative again, and then finally said, look, enough's enough. This is, I need to, for my livelihood, my family, and our future, do my trading. I'm one of the few people who can actually trade live and make money in front of people, not on a simulator. My work works for me and everything else. So I have something for people to offer, and that's what most of the people here actually said too, like yourself. In fact, I think you were one of the big, like, yes, because for you, you're at that stage where conservative trades, and many of my other students are at that stage too, have been with me for the last couple of years, are at that stage where for them, they don't just want conservative trades. They want to see my conservative aggressive trades because that's where the level that they're at. They want to see my very aggressive trades because some of them are dabbling in there because they've built their accounts up. So that's a good point that we at this point we have that critical momentum where I don't care if I had 200 people in a month, I'm not going to go back to conservative only trades. I would rather have 5 or 10 people unsubscribe and ultimately work their way out of the business because they're a bunch of trading arcade people who are trading for a thrill, and have them leave, than have everybody who's been here with me and I've built up relationships and loyalties with these last couple of years, have to then suddenly settle for one facet of trading because that's not fair to them. So the new people, for those of you that have joined just over this weekend and the last couple of weeks, you've got a lot of learning and a lot of great opportunity to learn over these coming weeks, months, and hopefully years that you'll stay with me. Just understand though that there are it's incumbent upon you to learn what the different styles of conservative, aggressive, very aggressive trades are, so that you can learn them. But it doesn't mean you just run right out there and trade them. That being said, so in one part, Lance came in at a time where I was very conservative, but at the same time, in general, even my most aggressive days, well, I mean, I shouldn't say the most aggressive days, but like Friday was a great trading day. 6 trades within the first couple hours of trade. But then there's other days where there may not be more than 1 or 2 trades, or if a trade at all, if in the more extreme situations. So it's important for everybody to learn that as Lance has said here articulately, the trades will come. And even though we don't have to worry about the, back in January I'm only doing conservative trades, that I will never be in the situation where I'm taking lots of trades most of the time because of the fact that most of the time there aren't that many high probability trades in a day, as many of you, if not all of you, have already found out in your trading journey as you try to trade 10 times in a day and following your own methodologies, and you win some, you lose some, and at the end of the month you hope you're up. Or like Tom so appropriately said here, he said, when we were talking about the commissions issue, he says, I was gross slightly positive last year, but obviously net negative, because but it's not because of the commissions. He's not blaming the commissions, okay, and he's a guy who could, he could say, oh, well, gross, I was up for the year. Oh, but after all my commissions, I was down. Well, is it really because of his commissions? Or if it was because he wasn't a good enough trader at the time to go ahead and be highly gross positive? You understand what I'm saying? And so, so blaming commissions, to wrap up on that, is not appropriate. And then going ahead and focusing on the trades, we're not here to make money on this one, lose on this one. Make money on this one, lose on the next 6, whatever the case may be. Bottom line is, we're not here at the end of each month to look at our accounts and to either be neutral or slightly up or slightly down and do this yo-yo effect. As you've watched my account be very consistently profitable as we've gone through this journey this year, hopefully that'll help you understand that the trades will come. Okay, and of course I've taken my own steps here, as we've said, to make sure people understand that we will not go ahead and only be focusing on those conservative only trades. So there's something for everybody to grow and learn from, but it is in part your own patience and discipline that will help you go ahead and become a better trader. Once you reach this threshold, that you have to realize, I actually know what I'm talking about and can do something that virtually no one in this business can do consistently. And also, that part of this is all you, based on you, your financial situation, where you're at, and you're not going to push me, as you can all see here, won't push me into making trades. I'm just going to take those trades because I'm very focused, very disciplined, because I know the trades will come. And like I said, just like Friday, for instance, we had 6 trades there, and the trades came, and the money came, and it'll all work itself out as we talked about the consistency. So, Lance, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that? That was really an important point. How you got to kind of have that revelation and wake up and take. And for some people, it's just going to be taking enough bad trades when I'm not taking a trade to help the people get that message. But I would just want to see if you had anything else you want to add.
Well, I would just mainly stress that people would listen and realize that you really do know what you're talking about, and there's a reason why you're not taking a lot of trades. And if they will just try to be patient, just wait and see. I mean, they will learn and grow with you and see the reasons what's behind the reasonings for not taking those trades.
Okay, and Nick went ahead and made a very interesting comment here as well. Nick says, I had the issue where my results were dependent on how aggressive your trades were, which was stupid. It was the best point for me to realize I need to be more judicious in which trades I take. So that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing, Nick. Basically, the more aggressive, I'm assuming is what he's trying to say, the more aggressive I was being with the trades and he tried to mimic, the less profitable that he was becoming on those, and so he realized that he just needed to be more judicious in general. And he's saying, and I don't mean, what he's saying is, I don't mean of your trades, he means judicious in general. So he realized, again, this whole selection, not just in my setups, but any other work that he was using, he needed to be more selective. In other words, getting away from the trading arcade. Back when we were kids, we all liked to go to the arcades and go ahead and put our quarter in the slot, and then go boom, 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 shoot at things, okay? Action, 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 until we died, and then we put another quarter in the machine. Boom, 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 okay? And then that quarter's dead. Okay, now you got to put another one in. Boom, 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 boom. Well, guess what, gang? Guess what? Trading is not an arcade machine. Okay? Wake up and smell the roses if there's anybody who thinks otherwise. This is a profession. We are professionals. This is not a game. This is not a thrill. You know what I'm saying? We're here to better our financial futures, not go boom, 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 boom at the arcade. Because guess what? Some of those tokens, some of those quarters are going to get real expensive. And just like when you went to the arcade, what always happens when you go to the arcade, you came home with less tokens, okay? So the bottom line is, this isn't an arcade game. It can't be treated as such. We're not in it for the thrill, okay? We're not in it for the adrenaline rush. We're in it to be profitable and increase the livelihoods for our families, okay? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All right? So with that said, let's go ahead and move on here to the next session. Thank you, Lance. Trader growth. Oh, did I do something? I did something bad there. Uh-oh. I think I did something bad. Give me just 1 second there. I think I'll go back and look at that section at lunch, but let's go ahead and move on from there then and talk about setups, okay? Because actually and that's fine, because trader growth will fit nicely towards the end as well. I think I merged a couple of those, so it ended up repeating. Not a big deal. We'll go back and see if there's anything else in there that needed to be fixed. That's the real world. That happens. And I'm glad you liked it, Daniel. Absolutely. So as soon as possible. Just don't know when, Daniel. And let's talk about setups. Okay. Actually, I'm going to check the time. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to keep going through this section at this point. Setups. What setup styles have worked best for you? And I know you've talked about retracement trades, but let's re-emphasize that. Let's go ahead and talk through these areas a little bit more in depth and spend some time on it. Make sure people understand these things. I'm sure some people are just going to read ahead to the other answers, but hopefully they're going to focus on what you say here because that's really important. So why don't you talk about those retracement trades again, and then I'll flip to a chart for you.
Yeah, the retracements have always been, those are the trades that really work out well all the time usually. It's, from the wide range moves on the 15, 30, and hourly charts, when you see that price action where they're, the price is just dropping, just really rapidly. I can remember when I first saw those type of trades, the price is moving so fast it would literally scare me. I'm like, man, what are you doing entering the market at this point in time? But now I see it and I'm like going, yeah, it's a good thing at that point. But those are the ones that work best. That I've always seen.
Okay, so of the different trades like speedline continuation trades and things of that nature, for instance, fish hooks and all the different types of setups that are out there, the one that is your personal favorite on the 15-minute, 30-minute, and hourly charts in particular is my retracement trade, where it comes wide distance, ultimately has that feverish activity down to rising key support or falling key resistance. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and again, that's on the 15, 30, and hourly gang that he really gets the most excited about, not the 5-minute chart. Okay, is there anything about the 5-minute chart? Is there a reason why the 5-minute chart is not as favored in relation to the other ones?
The 5-minute just really doesn't hold as well. It's I will take them now because I mean I'm prepared to scale into it. But I mean, at the point then, I mean, if you're just using one contract, I mean, off a 5-minute chart, you're really going to have to be prepared to you're going to have to add in more back to your support or your resistance.
Did everybody hear that? Did you hear that? Okay, I want to make sure that that's sunk in good and deep with everybody. Okay, good. Looks like everybody's, got that there. Okay, I can always tell. Come on, guys, you gotta stay with us here. This is important stuff. A couple people asked me to repeat it once I made sure that I emphasized how important it was. So we have some repeats. So Lance, if you do me the privilege, please, and the honor of repeating that, I appreciate you taking the time to do it. It is worthwhile, as you know, to go ahead and repeat it. So let's go ahead and let's stay on that subject for a moment here. The key is that, and then what you're going to focus on is the difference between the 5-minute chart and why on that one you trade, less, or if you do, you intentionally have a backup plan in mind. So why don't you walk through that again, and let's make sure you listen this time, gang. Okay, go ahead and repeat that for us, buddy.
If I take a trade off of a 5-minute chart, I'm entering that trade expecting it to go to the 15 or 30-minute chart. I mean, I'm expecting to have to add into it. The 5-minute charts don't hold as well as what the 15 or 30 or hourly charts are going to hold. I mean, you're not going to find as much resistance or support at that area.
But Lance, a lot of people trade off of tick charts and 1-minute charts. What must they be going through?
I could only imagine.
Right. Which is why you always hear me, gang, say, if you're a trader, you're an intraday trader, just sit there and just focus on tick charts, 1-minute charts, or even just a 5-minute chart, can be very hazardous to your financial health, in my opinion. Those of you that have known me for years know that really my focus for years has been this chart and this chart and excuse me, and higher, the 15 hourly and higher. In the last couple of years, 3 years or so, I've added the 5-minute in there more because of the the volatility and the nature of the volatility and what I've referred to as hyper stupid volatility in the last particularly 24 months. And so, we've certainly been using the 5-minute more, but I'm always much more prepared for scale-ins off of these levels, and then always looking to put, bigger armor and scaling into the higher time frames. And that's something that Lance